We got ohSauce versus HerrZealous today. Two of the players in the 0-1 bracket. Jax, what would you say your expectations are for this match?
I honestly don't know who would win. I don't think I've ever seen any of these people at all.
Uh-huh.
But like, I'm not trying to be mean to them at all.
Well, that's not mean to say you don't know them.
No,
um, ohSauce is one
I'm
of
sure
my
they'll
friends
do
that I
all
brought,
right.
and HerrZealous is actually Turk's brother.
Ready,
So this is
set,
a pretty interesting match between
go.
me and Turk as well. Okay, ohSauce going for the early Mega Marble, HerrZealous opting to take the Super Speed approach. And ohSauce deploying the Mega Marble and controlling the center of the map. 3 more reds going to spawn in the center. Jax, when you're playing King of the Marble, do you kind of prefer to take the Mega and hold the center, or do you try and be quick around and grab the yellows on the edge?
I kind of just try to go around and get everything on the sides.
Close game so far. We can see HerrZealous now has the Mega Marble tempo and has basically evened up the game. Sauce has been able to pick up the most recent yellow to get it back to 5 points, but that Mega Marble is definitely taking control over that corner of the map. And now the next one is quite favorable for Sauce, but ends up missing the super speed on the yellow. That's going to give it a 1 point gap, and now HerrZealous taking the lead by 1 point. So a lot of back and forth here. Both of these players knowing how to use the blast and the Mega quite well on this map. It's one of the simpler ones that you can learn, as both of these are kind of lesser experienced players in the scene. Sauce kind of swooped the last 2 spawns, though, in order to open a little bit of a gap. 5 points now as it stands, but HerrZealous using the Mega there. Another very effective Mega from HerrZealous, but hasn't really converted that into actual points in the match tally. You can see just now able to pick up a yellow, but Sauce is going to be the first one back to that Mega in the center. HerrZealous with a very nice blast to knock him off, and going to pick up that yellow. Sauce is now closer to the center yet again, going to pick up the reds. Another really effective Mega, actually goes for the 1-2
When we get
off the
bonked
pole.
around by the Mega Marble.
Yeah, that was a really disgusting Mega, and Sauce wasting his Mega. Now, it does feel like HerrZealous has, brought the aggression in this match, but for the last minute or so, the gap has held constant at 5 points. Sauce has been still able to get these points despite getting knocked around by Zealous. Zealous has been
They
pretty
seem like they're
effective.
both
Yeah,
about the same.
what was that?
They seem like they're both around the same skill or whatever.
Right. And this is Zealous's pick of King of the Marble. We've got 15 seconds left now. 5-point lead for ohSauce, but Zealous has control of the center with that Mega. Fortunate spot for ohSauce, could have gone left or right and still picked up a yellow. So splits that one, and it's going to be 5 seconds on the clock. There's not enough time for Zealous to make up this gap. And Sauce finally takes away the yellow head and solves the injury. In the end, 95-88 in favor of ohSauce.
That was alright for the first game that they played.
Yeah, pretty close. I think my expectation coming in was Sauce was a little bit better than Zealous, but Zealous is going to be able to get 2 picks in this series, guaranteed. So we're gonna have to see how that turns out. Sauce opts for Basin Hill, and if there is a map on the opposite side of the spectrum to King of the Marble, Basin Hill might be a top contender for that spot, given the difficulty in navigation in the expert category.
I think I only played on this once so far.
Ready, set, go.
Well, you certainly need a lot of navigation and marble control to be able to pick up the gems here. I know it's something that Sauce has practiced a lot. Obviously, you're pretty confident in your abilities in order to pick it in an actual tournament match. See, missing the blue, but he's got all the time in the world with where Zealous is right now. Sauce completely struggling to get the blue under control, though. And could this be a blue steal from Zealous? Able to get it. And maybe some nerves from ohSauce. Had like a 10-second lead to actually get to that spawn, but ends up losing the blue.
Also, something about just the level itself. There's shock absorbers, which I don't think that's like something that's all that common in hunt levels.
Yeah, definitely. I think only really Sweep comes to mind immediately for a map that has shock absorbers, and of course Parkour Peaks, which is probably the closest cousin to this map in the current pool. Also super bounces. This is one of the few maps where you would actually want to use those if you can't find a super speed, though.
There's also just no red gems at all.
Yeah.
There's only like a few other ones that are like that.
There are blues, which does differentiate it from being similar to Parkour Peaks. You can see ohSauce has started to find his groove after a little bit of nerves on the first spawn. It was like 15 to 10 in favor of Zealous, and now Sauce has gone like 20 or 30 points to Zealous's 15 since, and is able to get a 15-point lead now. And we're just about halfway through this match. You can see Sauce is doing a good job controlling the super speed economy. Anytime he uses one, needs to make sure to pick up another one, and that is going to be the fastest way to navigate across the map, is using it, jumping off those ramps. I'm not sure if that's something that Zealous has practiced or not, but if someone has a super speed and you do not, and just walk across the map like this, you're going to be at a big disadvantage. Sauce able to snipe that blue, and this is going to be very, very difficult for Zealous to come back at this point in the match.
It's a bit fun to use the super speeds on the slopes and then just go pretty fast to the next part.
Yeah, definitely fun to watch as well, seeing where they land. And even once you're in the air, you still have a fair bit of marble control left to do, trying to control your spin when you land and bounce to multiple jumps. You can see Zealous quite a bit closer to this spawn, but with the super speed, Sauce is able to get here just as quickly, but he's been having some difficulty sticking to landing. Zealous able to pick up that blue. Another thing you need to manage carefully on Mason Hill is your blast bar. If you don't have sufficient blast, you're going to try and jump up a too high tower, and you're not going to have the blast to do it. So that's something that I think I've seen both players fail so far in this match, but ohSauce definitely doing a better job overall. Yeah, Zealous looking really uncomfortable in terms of how many times they played this map, which is not uncommon, but really nice, fortunate spawn for him, able to shoot off, and a yellow just kind of appears where his trajectory was anyway. And you can see, not quite aware of how the super speeds work up those ramps. You need to really jump off of them in order for them to work effectively. If you just super speed into one, it's going to not take you very far, which is a bit of a waste. And with 10 seconds left on the clock, 40-point lead for ohSauce. Definitely has this one in the bag, and is going to be up 2-0 in the series. Alright, that's a 105 to 68 on Basin Hill. Citadel. Okay, this is a spicy one coming out from Zealous. This is definitely not one I expected him to be prepared for. Should catch Sauce off guard.
It's a big one.
You got any thoughts on Citadel Jax here for Zealous?
I don't like how fast the marble moves. It's
Ready.
sometimes hard to
Set.
use it properly.
Yeah, the thing you need to
Like,
really...
sometimes you'll go up a slope and you'll just slide down. It sucks.
Oh, really unfortunate gyrocopter miss there for Zealous, but Sauce is nowhere to be found. Not sure how to navigate this map, and, you know, when you're practicing Citadel, you really have to master the teleporter network and figure out the right time to use that versus just using the physics and super speed to navigate. You can see like weird edges like that will just catch you off guard, and Sauce is completely unsure how to get over there now. And there's quite a few gems on offer for the prize here. You see there's a super jump gyrocopter that Sauce is going to find his way to, where Zealous is still struggling up this hill. Sauce needs to stick the landing here, though. Otherwise, this is just going to go right back in the hands of Zealous, who has used a super jump and, ooh, really close blue there going the way of ohSauce, which is really important to get for him, because otherwise Zealous would have a 10-point lead here.
The thing I hate the most about this level is, like I said earlier, the way the slopes are. The friction that works on them, sometimes you just slide off if you have too much spin going into them or whatever.
Yeah, really have to be careful about your spin, as well as using the sand teleporters. You can see ohSauce deciding to use the teleporter there, even though the next spawn was extremely close. And that's going to be an easy spawn for Zealous here. Probably going to be a significant advantage, but these gems are not very quick to collect. Hard to position yourself. Oh, Sauce able to get the 3-in-a-row slide to actually win that spawn of 5 gems and tie up the game. That is not something I expected. And now Sauce able to climb this hill using some diagonal movement, presumably. And they share that last gem. We'll see about this last one. Zealous able to share it. And 2-point lead for ohSauce. Both players now attempting to climb this giant hill. Sauce opting to go for the lower gems, but that's going to put him in a bad spot compared to Zealous, who has the high ground. Gonna have to go back for that gem, but Sauce able to get one, and it should be tied up yet again. And we see a blue across the map. Sauce is going to be in a little bit better position to get here quickly, but needs to find a way up this hill. Oh, taking the super jump away from Zealous, but then failing to get up the hill. And we can hear the frustration there. Both players having an extremely difficult time. This is a very challenging map, and given both of these players are newer and not really as known for their marble control and spin and navigation, all that, not surprising to see a low gem count across the board here. Sauce was able to pick up the blue, but Zealous gets a respectable portion of the remainder of the spawn.
They're pretty close together right now.
Yeah, they have been all game, and we are 3 minutes in, and it's 1 point, 42 to 41. Zealous going to probably get both of these gems. Slides down the hill a little bit too early, more than he would have liked. Still going to be able to pick up that one in the end, but you got to say Sauce has a couple seconds advantage when it comes to getting to this next spawn, which they know this hill very well. We'll see who's able to actually get up. Zealous and Sauce both struggling yet again. Sauce able to secure the blue, and that's going to be really big with only 1.5 minutes left in the match. Zealous first to this spawn. Another difficult thing about Citadel is trying to chain the gems together while on that steep slope. Because even if you get up there, like Sauce was able to, there's no guarantee that you're going to be able to stay in control of your marble enough to get every single gem on the slope.
It does get a little bit better if you play this often, but I don't think he's playing it often.
Yeah, Sauce struggling with the gyrocopter or whatever took him that high in the air. And Zealous able to get more of this spawn. Sauce misses the gem too. Every gem at this point is very, very important. And Zealous is going to have a small advantage getting to this next spawn. Oh, and Sauce is stuck in the water. So if Zealous is able to clean up this spawn, that's going to narrowly put him in the lead. Sauce finally here, though, able to probably get 2 gems. Maybe 3 with Zealous missing that yellow. Zealous going to be able to work his way over to that. We've got 13 seconds on the clock. 3-point game for Sauce. Zealous has to collect 2 gems in order to take the lead here. And it's going to be a struggle to even get there. They might not have time. Zealous going up the hill, but no, it's going to be it. Sauce may be able to collect the yellow, not quite, and it is a 3-point game. Sauce able to take it 71 to 68, and that is going to be the closest 3-0 we have seen all tournament long here in week 2.
He was so close to that last yellow gem.
Yeah, really good close match between these two players. Both of them have practiced against each other before, so not super unsurprised to see a close series, but it was still really entertaining nonetheless. Congrats to ohSauce and GG's to both players.